there's always going to be a niche set that's going to do something very niche. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more niche content. So we're back with Market Watch today, and this one's been building for a little while. It's a limited world pack 2025. Not exactly a great set overall, but there are some abnormalities in this set. Exodia, the Forbidden one, being one of these fairly more recent pushes up here, doing things. Now, please keep in mind here, look at the light play listings. You've only got a few of these, but for near mint listings, you only have 4 of these. And it's such a big difference between this. Now, I mean, if you're a collector wanting to collect this set, which, I mean, was already kind of a weird thing as it is, this card barely sells at the moment, but I do have a complete set of this. I will eventually. I need to sit down and show that off for everybody to kind of see what that looks like. Looks like the EUR, oh boy, this version is coming in at 55 on up to 62 on up to 85. So both of your Exodia pieces have now finally broken that boundary and starting to push upward. Boxes are 41s and vanishing. Grunix ESRs, 13s. A lot of these, they're just... It's a very weird set. You know, what has existed in stock is starting to disappear. You got the Diabell Stars at 10s about to hit 19. You got the Singing Caimans coming in at 9s. Nightmare Pains are 7s. I would definitely say over time we might be seeing something a little bit crazy happen with this set, but it's all just going to be long term. I do see most of these have decent amounts, except for these embossed secret rares, only 7 listings on the Ilia Sylvia. So that's kind of something to think about here. Diabell Star Ultra Rares kind of getting low on listings. Rizel Cross, 13 listings. I would say maybe in a year or two, we might actually say, you know, see this set do some kind of crazy things, and it's going to be natural erosion. You know, somebody's going to come through here, they're going to want Diabell Stars, they're going to be like, oh, embossed secret rares, okay, I mean, this seems like a cool rarity, and they'll spend a couple of dollars to pick them up, and that's all that this is going to be. Natural erosion is going to do its job. Oh boy, the dragon that devours dogma. So as time has kind of gone on, and more people have got the memo out here about, you know, the Fallen and Virtuous, and obviously, you know, the Towers monster. Because let's call this thing what this is. I mean, this card being unaffected by other card effects, kind of getting a little bit bigger on the stat lines. I mean, it does seem like a pretty strong monster. 3,500 attack points is not something that, you know, the average bear is going to be able to handle, but looks like we're hitting $83 on up to 85. I don't know why people are so, like, surprised to see this card hitting, you know, the numbers it did. I will say, though, it's funny because when we initially started off with this, it wasn't exactly the most exciting card to be having on the market, but now times have changed for this. Now, it looks like Fallen and Virtuouses themselves are 171 on up to 173 in Starlights. The individual decks, we're about 120 now. If you were wanting to pick up a sealed case of these, which I guess is fine. There's your Dogma Dragon. Looks like the fusion deployments are hitting 40s now for Starlights. That's actually quite down from where they were. Looks like Thrust also has kind of... I don't exactly know how Thrust is going to hold up here long term, because I see 40, 44 and still kind of doing its thing, which isn't initially too bad. Looks like the individual decks market price still 20. Fallen and Virtuous Secret Rares are still like $20. That's still kind of insane to think about how much value is jam-packed in there. The Ecclesias, these have dropped down to $10, man. Like, it's so crazy to think about how these have gone down. Same thing with the Fleur-de-Lises. These are $10. Like, these good cards just continue to drop down. And at least, you know, Fallen and Virtuous, this ultra rares, are still holding at about $7. You know, we're not really losing out too much on these, but it's still interesting to say the least on how those are doing. And then, of course, the Thrust is down to $3 now. The Dogma Dragons are 2 to 3s, which is okay. We see the Thrust also now coming in very, very, very good and cheap now, $2 to $3. Like, Konami has done a very solid job at making sure these expensive cards stay down so we can get them. Fusion Deployments are also $1 now. Super Poly's $1.30. Lubellions, 70 cents. Black Goat Laugh still 40 cents. Druis Worms 40 cents. Magna Huts. Tell me, did you ever think that you would see a time where a lot of these core staples are floating into some of the cheapest prices that you've seen? Because I'll be honest with you, I really didn't think we would see this. It's been a golden era for sure. Wanted. So evidently this card's being a little bit of a joyride right now. Somebody, before I sat down to film this was $300. Somebody populated a $199 listing here, just trying to capitalize and get these sold. I see some just sold for $135 a piece. So you do have movements happening on this card right now. I mean, I don't really blame people for wanting to pick up Wanteds. It's just, man, such an expensive card just for what you get with this. Deceptions are still 75 on up to 85. That's crazy. OSSs are still 30s. That never changes. Deceptions base 30s. $22 on the subversions. Regular Deceptions are still 20s. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good time. 20, 25, 10 of Dueling Nears, $14. Platinum Secret Rares are now 24 for Wanted. That's more money than I would really want to be throwing. $15, $9. It looks like the lowest Wanteds are actually like $6 for the Ultra Rares. I mean, sure. I guess I'll take that. You never know what you're going to want to have for the back end of this. So we're back on the discussion of Genesis format and Magnet Warriors. Duo Tyrion being the free little searcher to get to the magnet bonding H2O is pretty solid for when you think about the things that you can do with this. And I mean, that's going to be the thing, right? If you're looking at playing any Magnet Warrior deck or any H2O deck in general, this is going to be a card that you're going to need in multiple of, because it turns your searcher from a 3 of in the deck to a 6 of. Which does initially help out a lot of those early numbers for you to work with. So that's kind of something to think about. At least you can get the commons for $1. But the problem is, these are from Midterm Paradox, and yes, they are, getting cheaper, but this one's a little bit rough. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Well, it's a quarter century, and it's an iconic card. When you've got these two things mixed together, in terms of collectibles, it's going to go up to the moon. This is the same thing that we've seen happen time and time again out here. You've got these $100 now, to say the least. And I mean, these just, it wasn't even like a good takeover. This was just a slow snap your fingers. It grinded out. And, can't even say somebody came through and picked them up. It's just an erosion over time. So, congratulations to seeing Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon to the collectors disappearing. Rune, the Queen of Oblivion. This is a $150 Ultimate Rare now. You know how crazy that is? Especially, once again, I mean, you're dealing in first ed craziness. This is the same thing that we've seen time and time again, where these cards just spike up over time because natural erosion. Especially first ed good stuff, yeah. Proto Cyber Dragon, DRO4. I'm surprised to see $20 versions of these on the market. But once again, I mean, you're dealing with old niche set, extremely, not like super desired, but it was a pretty cool card back in the day that you could do things with. And of course, we have good old Card D. I'm actually surprised that the Vroom Vroom machine is $13 to $14 still for first ed copies. To be fair though, Card D, I mean, this card ever good? Like, it had a lot of common rarities. Yeah, this card really didn't do anything too crazy. But yeah, those first ed copies are really, really desirable. So what do you guys think about everything happening within today's market? I'm not really surprised by anything that I've seen here today, but just a lot of very natural things happening to the process of the market, which tends to be what happens this time of year. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.